We had offers ranging from basically 1.15 to 1.31. So we ended up settling on an offer at not settling, very excited to take an offer at 1.3, so that part of it, blew us out of the water as far as what we were projecting. All right, we're back here at 479 11th Ave in Salt Lake City. We're about, 4 or 5 months since our first video here in November?
Yeah, about 5.
Yeah, so today's April 22nd, 2022. We just are accepting an offer on this house today. So we're going to kind of recap where we thought we were, where we ended up, and then obviously we want to show off the before and afters of this awesome home. So let's talk first. We were back, you can see the video of us here in November, right? That we're watching kind of right now. And this is what the game plan was when we started. Let's talk about what the scope of work and our anticipated rehab budget was when we started.
The initial budget, as we talked about, was 180,000 on it. And the scope of work of where we stayed was mostly on it, but we changed some things along the way, like we changed the windows, we changed the furnaces, because at the end of the day, once we open up, we realized the up factors and we realized all the surprises that we needed to do.
Yep.
So we ended up at 210,000 on the budget.
Actually, I think we were probably closer to just right about 200.
Yes.
Now we might slip over that a little bit when we get some of the inspection requests maybe from the buyer. But so to recap, so we were here in November, and I remember saying that, man, this is good. We'll get this done the end of February, March. We'll list in March. It'll be a perfect time. So we missed on a couple of things. Yeah. So we missed on our budget by maybe 20,000.
Okay.
But for the reasons we talked about, we did furnaces that we didn't realize, we did some windows we didn't realize we were going to do, and we probably did a little bit more extensive work on the landscaping and the porch than we thought we were going to do. So that also kind of maybe delayed us a little bit, or we just were unrealistic about our timing.
That's also true,
and we mentioned that the holidays were going to maybe slow us down. But where we sit today is we thought we were going to be a 180. We're at about 200,000 in rehab, so still pretty dang good.
An increase 10%, something like that.
10%. So that's kind of a tip. Wherever you think you're going to be at, have a little margin of safety of 5 to 10%, because it doesn't always go to plan, right?
Yeah, it's always coming up something up. There's always that something comes up.
And especially on this, where we did, you can see from the before and afters, we basically, almost gutted the whole thing, especially upstairs and downstairs, because we opened up that family room, we re-beamed it, we put a new beam in there. And so here we are now, about a month maybe over budget on time.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd be done in March. It's now April. So as far as the remodel part of it, then we'll talk about the final numbers on it all. What were some of the successes maybe that you saw on this that maybe you didn't anticipate, coming out the way it did when we started?
Initial was dealing with the city and the inspectors.
Yeah.
They were easier than I thought they would. Since this is a historic district, they were easier to work with before. And especially the second win that I realized is like putting the beam down there. I thought dealing with the steel beam was going to be more complicated than actually it is, but it's not that difficult to do, and it's not that, it is still complicated, but it's not as complicated as I thought it will be.
So let's talk about, because I think this is really important for anybody flipping homes that have a substantial scope of work and or are in a city that's pretty sensitive to permitting. One of the things that I think why that went so well, one, I think you do a great job, but also, again, we always want to begin with the end in mind. So we kind of had a vision for what this was going to look like today and a timeline and a budget. We backed into that, but then to start, we also knew, let's get our plans buttoned up really nice and tight before we start, get them to the city. So the city, it's easy for the city to say yes.
Exactly.
It's easy for the inspectors to come in and approve the work. So it's talk about that planning and how important that is.
So you always have to begin with the end in mind. That's the fact number one. And then speak the same lingo than the city. If you just go in with just a set of plans and you just did hand drafted, the city is not going to understand that. The better then you can express yourself to the city in the way they want to be talked to or plans, and you can say that with everything, the easier the process will be for everyone.
Wow, that is, yeah. So we were talking earlier about this concept of sell people what they want to be sold.
Exactly.
That also applies here perfectly, right? Like sell the plans and the approval of the plans
how they want it to be
in the manner that they want, even if it means a little extra work on your front, because then what does it do? You simplify the process.
Exactly.
For them, maybe a little harder for you.
That's okay.
But then ultimately it makes it way easier
in the long run
for us in the long run. So that's a valuable point there. Okay. So, okay, awesome. So now we're here. This thing turned out awesome. Turned out great. We ended up with, as you'll see, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath. We got creative in the master bedroom space and made a master bedroom plus a hall bath, and then the basement's nice and open. I mean, it just turned out great. So, so what we did is we listed this a couple of days ago.
Okay.
We listed this at 1.2. So let's go back to what we thought when we started. We thought this was going to be a 1.1 to 1.15. Maybe if things got awesome, we could hit 1.2. And so what ended up happening is we did a little pre-marketing, and we got an immediate offer at 1.2, but we decided to follow through with the plan and list it on the MLS. We listed on the MLS, and the market, again, we're April 2022. The market is still really hot. I think this may have been one of the only homes in the avenues in this square footage range that was listed for sale. So we have an extreme scarcity up here, not a lot of inventory. In fact, we are the only house
in the avenues,
it was available for sale. So what ended up happening is we ended up having, I don't know, like 10 or 12 showings, and we ended up with 5 offers. We just did our round of highest and best today. We had offers ranging from basically 1.15 to 1.31. So we ended up settling on an offer at very excited to take an offer at 1.3, which, so that part of it, you know, blew us out of the water as far as what we were projecting. So we thought we might get 1.1 to 1.5. We ended up at 1.3. We did go over on time a little bit. We went over budget by 10%, but by doing a fabulous job on the house and getting it on the market when there's low inventory, I mean, I think it hasn't closed yet, but let's just assume it will. It's going to be a phenomenal deal. In fact, I think this could be the highest net profit house I've ever been involved with. I think we'll clear pretty darn close to $400,000 on this flip. So we're going to redo the numbers right here because everyone likes to see the scorecard of the numbers. Maybe we'll do them right here. So 1.3 sales price, a net purchase price of I think $633,500, $200,000 remodel. We have some expenses for cost of money, realtor fees. What's left over is the number we're all doing this for, probably close to about a $400,000 flip profit. But we made it fun along the way.
That is what's most important. If you don't enjoy what you're doing and if you don't have fun doing it, then you gotta be thinking about doing something else because that's not the right thing to do.
Okay, well, check out our before and afters. If you need any help or resources, hit us up. Subscribe to the channel, and if you want my real estate starter kit with the fix and flip calculator and the Burke calculator, go ahead and download it, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Okay, thank you.